Yeah, I think it was it's looking for an update was the problem.
No, I meant him getting that bike in there. It's a lot of work.
Just typical idiosyncratic behavior of any technology. Okay, so, we got a new, I'm going to pull this back because we're just a little bit, there we go. We have a new audio panel, so there's no dip switches. We got push buttons tonight.
Okay.
Today. And we got a new type of radio.
Okay.
We already got, this is COM 1, COM 2, NAV 1, NAV 2, NAV head 1, NAV head 2. And we have no GPS in this plane except for this old unit, which we're not even going to touch.
Right. No need.
This is distance measuring equipment, and this is our transponder, the same one we had in the other plane. So all we got to do, this is the receive. You see it says RCV, yes. And then XMIT right here, that's transmit. So if we want to listen on COM 2 to the ASOS at South Jersey, you just push COM 2. We'll be listening only. If you wanted to transmit, we would push that.
Density altitude 700.
I'm going to pull this back just a hair bit more.
Automated weather observation 1209er Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 22 Celsius. Dew point 18 Celsius. Altimeter 3011. Remarks
3011. Buttons right there.
700.
There you go.
Automated weather observation.
So if you just set the 19er.
Zulu. Wind
190.
Visibility 10.
Wait, 190?
Yeah, we're 190 right now. 191. There you go. I'm going to get rid of this. There's nothing of significance on here. It's dead calm. You're not going to get visibility past 10 miles because that's all it reports. So we have the ASOS.
Okay, so we have that. So that's before
and your altimeter set. Yep.
Altimeter set.
You can taxi. And you got rid of that, so we're on COM 1, 1228, and 126475 is McGuire if we need it.
Yeah. All right.
Clock's running here, and the clock's running here. There goes the bike in the plane.
Second attempt. A lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. It's probably a novelty ride. I'm guessing he just wants to fly somewhere and then ride his bike somewhere. I've done that a couple times. It's probably easier to rent a bike wherever you're going, but that's not our problem.
It is not. So with the winds calm?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would rely on the windsock and any other traffic. I'm going to put my sunglasses on because suddenly it got...
Yeah. Are they special sunglasses or are they... Yeah, I need prescription sunglasses.
They are not anything special other than they're this really super light headset or frame called Silhouette. It's really almost no frame at all, and I really like how light they are. And I have like a prescription that is mostly for reading in a little bit of distance, so I have a progressive. I can see really close up and really far away.
That's the problem. I can see far, problem, but here it's going to be a challenge. I should probably take them off, huh?
Well, let me ask, what's your problem? You can't see close up?
Yes.
How bad is it? Like,
I can see the gauges. I just, can't see the. I can see that 60.
Kind of important, but I'll leave that up to you because I'm not going to let you do anything. And you are going to need to be able to, change the radio and stuff.
Let me take them off, and I will have to get prescriptions.
If you just wear regular prescription glasses, those little clip-on visors, I used to have those. Those work great.
Okay.
Not the visor ones that flip down. The ones that clip all the way over are really nice.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just go down and use runway 1.
Okay.
Because you really don't have much wind here. It's going to make a line W traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, taxi main ramp to runway 1, run up. Now if anybody pulls out over there, they kind of...
Romeo Foxtrot's left base, runway 27, cross keys.
That's not us. So are you,
Loud and clear.
we could do a couple things today. You know, we could do like a little round robin and land at a couple different airports and practice some entering patterns and landing at different places, or we could just stay here and do that. Do 5 or 6 here, run out to the practice area, do a little bit of VOR work.
We could do that. I mean, either or.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, we're gonna get a couple landings in either way, but if you want to just stay here and practice in this pattern in no wind, or we could hit, you know, we could go to Hamilton, cross Keys, and back to South Jersey, and come back here and just get a little bit of variety, and it's up to you.
Okay.
Finding other airports is always like really interesting.
All right, so we can try that. I mean, I need to learn these landings, but...
Then let's stay here.
Okay.
If that's what you want to focus on.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're not like going crazy flying around in circles, because it is sometimes really monotonous. So this plane is a little different. We have 40 degrees of flaps.
Yes, I noticed.
And we have a slightly different V speeds. They're really similar, but slightly different. I think it's 3 knots different on the climb out VY. And the stall speeds are probably slightly different too.
Solberg traffic, White Skyhawk, 21022.
Nice. Just neutralize it and you're all set.
Straight in for RNAV.
So I'm going to try and turn this thing off because this
Distracting?
thing, well, it's useless and it's distracting. So I may have just turned that off. Good.
Yes. Okay, before takeoff. Engine run up.
So you have the plane. I'm going to stay off the brakes so you know you have it.
I have the plane. Oh, you know what? I didn't do this.
Well, that's where we are right now.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
engine run up.
It's early,
Parking
man.
br-
Did you have your coffee yet?
No, I haven't.
That's okay.
I've been up since 2:30.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, parking brake set, so test
Wait,
it.
did you work last night?
No,
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah, you can pull that back gently. Just
oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, because you noticed somebody broke the one in 62862. So let's see if that worked. I'm going to just... We're still moving, so give it a, like, one more, just... There you go. So that's holding. There's no reason putting that parking brake on if you think it's holding and it's not, because now we have a false sense of security.
Right, so take it off, right?
Oh, no, I would leave it on for the
Okay.
run-up. Otherwise, just ignore it and use the foot brakes.
Yeah. So cabin doors and windows closed.
I'm going to leave my window open until we're ready to depart.
Doors closed.
My door's closed and
All
locked.
right. Flight controls free and correct.
iPads are out of the way,
Yeah.
and the control lock is removed, and there's
You know
no...
what?
Is that your knee?
That's my knee.
So,
Oh, I could
you're
probably
not...
just-
Yeah, you're not...
Okay.
If you have to turn that hard, trust me, your knee's going to move.
Right. Fuel quantity check. Full tanks. Mixture rich in.
Yeah, so we definitely had full fuel, right?
Full fuel. Yes.
Okay. They probably filled it last night.
Throttle to 1700.
And I would just stay on the foot brakes, too.
Oh, most definitely. Mixture lean. Oh, I'm not doing that, am I? Magneto
I would.
drop. Yes. Yes.
That looks good to me.
Looks good.
And just make sure you're back on both always, because we don't want to take off with one mag.
No. Suction gauge. I saw it in the green earlier.
Good.
Engine instruments.
So, over here.
In the green.
Yep.
Good. All right. Ammeter check.
So we can
Yes.
check that again by just touching this flat button, and you see a little detent when the electric goes on.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot of power in this plane. We don't have anything that uses a lot of juice in here. There's no landing gear motor.
Carb heat check. It's
Oh, no, we're going to check that by
Oh,
putting
sorry.
it on and listening for any roughness. And looking, it usually drops like 30 to 50 RPMs and then should
Yes.
go back up again.
okay. Throttle back to idle.
That's just to make sure that when we're coming in for landing, we kill the power, the engine doesn't conk out,
Right.
which that's a really big surprise. And if that ever happens to you, if you put the power back in, usually the spinning prop will restart the engine.
Okay.
If you're lucky.
Like old school cars when you keep it moving. Throttle friction lock. Yeah, good adjust. Parking
This one's
brake
metal versus plastic in the other plane, I think. You can take the brake off.
Release. Engine run up complete. Before takeoff, flaps as required. 0. Mixture rich full set. Carb heat off. Lights, navs. So
I would put the all the lights you have available, so you got one there and one there. Yep.
Yeah.
You got a landing light and your nav lights.
trim set for takeoff.
Double
It is
check
set
that.
for takeoff. Fuel valve to both. Heading indicator recheck.
Says 010 or it looks like 050 right now, so just reset that a little bit and add 5 degrees to that. There you go. That looks pretty close. We're going to be taking off on runway 1, so we'll have a quick look.
So let me see. So this is.
So just look at the north, right? That's 0360.
Yeah.
And you can see that there's a 3 over there, so you know.
Oh, so it's opposite. So this is opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, no, this is not opposite. This is
true.
Yeah, but this just spins differently than this does. So.
So the 3 on this side, but 3 on this side. So that's what I've got to do.
Yeah, just look for the 3. Just look that the numbers are going up.
Yes. Yes.
You'll get really used to that. I mean, I don't even think about that anymore.
12.
So here we go, transponder.
Sorry.
You're really tired, dude. So I have to keep an eye on you.
Transponder 12.
And you're in a different plane this morning, so.
Yeah. Time.
You're at 11 minutes, so we're doing okay. I'm gonna do a radio check. Flying W radio check 1228.
No one out.
Did somebody say something?
No, that was me. There's no one out here.
Yeah, so we'll just continue to listen. Okay.
All right, so VR 55, VY 73.
Yeah, so the 73 is what's different, and the 59 is different. You can see this is a little bit, it's 3 knots slower on your VY, and 1 knot, I believe it was 1 knot slower on your VX, so.
Okay, so that's it.
Well, that's your takeoff. You did this whole before takeoff brief?
Did I not? Flaps as required, mixture set to rich, yep, carb heat is off, I didn't, yep, lights, navs, we did those.
Heading indicator, yeah, you might have done it.
In case transponder told me I was sleepy time, not yet.
I just want to make sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't know if you were still working, I was looking up here.
Is it okay to put this here? Or
it is absolutely okay to put it there, yeah.
I'm gonna put it there. All right.
Anywhere else, you're not going to be able to grab it when you need it.
Like, heat off the brakes.
I've actually never seen it anywhere else during flight, but I guess you could leave it down there. When you leave the plane, you should take it away from there because they tend to melt.
Okay.
Okay, so I see you're actually out here really early in the morning, so this is good. So before we leave, I'm just going to do a quick floor-to-door check. Everything looks good. Can you confirm that primer's locked for me? Just pull on it. And we're on both mags. We already checked that.
We're on both, set to both. Primer is locked.
So I'm going to let you make the radio call and determine when it's safe to get out on the runway.
Okay. What were we in 30? Flying W traffic, Cessna 38 Yankee Tango, departing runway 1. Flying W traffic. That normal sounding? That normal rattle?
It does sound a little odd. So we'll keep an eye. I'm going to listen on our takeoff roll.
Okay.
You can just keep rolling here and get yourself on the center line. Yeah, so we always listen to the engine as we're taking off, and if anything sounded weird, we just abort.
Okay. SV's alive. Gauge is in the green for a little bit. 50, 55, and rotate.
There you go.
There we go.
And what do you got on your airspeed? We're only at 65, so just drop the nose a little.
Okay.
And you'll pick up 73 pretty quick. Well, I think I was hearing a lot more noise because my headset wasn't on properly, right?
Okay. 73.
So when we get up to altitude, do me a favor. Let's depart the pattern out on a 45. My headset battery has died, so I'm going to grab some batteries.
Okay.
I'm not going to change anything until we're safely away from the airport, but these things usually die at the most
inopportune.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my plane we switched them from batteries to electric power just because they always died like at the worst possible moment.
Okay.
And I can still hear you, but it's a little bit annoying. And I have batteries somewhere here, I think, so take advantage.
I have batteries in my bag too, if you want to grab. You see my bag?
If I can't find these in like 5 seconds, I'll pick you up on that, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know what? I have them in my headset case.
That's what I'm saying. In my headset case, I have them too.
Just gonna reach back and grab these. Yeah, so I can hear you fine. Let's just climb out over here.
Okay.
To 1500, and we'll go back over to the practice area.
Clearview traffic.
I'm gonna take these batteries out. I think I can still hear you while I'm doing that.
Copy that.
Clearview traffic.
Nice and smooth today. This morning.
So I'm not sure if these, I bought rechargeables, so they actually lasted a long time. So I'm gonna try recharging these, see what happens.
Nice.
These are the Amazon rechargeables, so we'll see. I hate throwing these things away.
Me too.
Traffic, Kyle K64 here, Papa inbound from the northeast.
How's our airspeed looking? So let's just put our nose down, make sure there's no traffic. I don't see anything on the ADS-B.
Looking clear, looking good. A little hazy out.
Okay, I'm back online. We'll see if these hold.
Traffic, Warrior 23 Tango, left base, runway 30.
I just got to remember to charge these when I get back.
And leveling off at 1500.
Thank you, sir. And why don't we go out to, we used to do practice over here, but this is a little congested. Why don't we do a 180? Actually, let's just do it a 180. We'll re-enter the, and then put your squelch on.
Warrior 23 Tango, final runway 30, good in traffic.
Man, pretty noisy this morning. Let's go ahead and do a 180-degree turn back toward the airport, and let's think about this for a second. We're going to have to go, we want to land on runway 1. We could enter on a 45.
On the go, 3, 2.
I feel like I got no squelch capability on this radio whatsoever. So you hear that engine noise picking up, so that's just because we're full power and we're descending a little.
Trying to maintain 1500.
Okay, so let's find the water tower. It's right over there, I think.
Yes.
So we actually don't want to enter, or actually we do, I'm sorry. We want to enter a 45 from this direction, so.
I'll follow you.
So that's the water tower, isn't it?
No, that's the Medford water tower, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is, find those three silos. There's the first one, there's the second one, and the third one's right over here somewhere. So if you head a little bit over this way, I believe I'm looking at the hangars. The north end of the runway is that field over, you know, over the tree line is the field. So we want to land on runway 1 going that way. We want to enter the pattern on a 45. So the middle of the nurseries are way, let's just go over near the water tower, and I'm going to point you to the nurseries, see if you can find them.
Okay.
So kind of that red barns with the white roof is the most visible thing from about 5 miles away. And I actually think I see them, but I'm not positive. We're still pretty far out. Let's descend down to 1200. And now we do have some people that have just departed the runway. Actually, interestingly, we have, I think that might be the Mitsubishi coming in, I'm not sure. You see the middle of the nursery yet?
924,
Oh, there it is, over there. See the red barns with the... So we're just going to head right in there. Sorry, and there's the... I'm looking way too far down. There's the north end of the runway right there, that field. There's the power lines.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to go into the nursery, then we're going to turn 45 degrees downwind. A guy did... That's not us. So let's just roll out, pointed right at the... See the red barns?
These ones right here in front of us, down.
No, up, straight out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's an antenna just a little to the left.
Yeah.
So that's... I'm going to keep an eye out because a guy just departed. He looks like he's going straight out. Let's get no lower than 1,000 here. Let's reduce our power a little bit. We're just going a little bit too fast. So the airport, there's the power lines, there's the bean field at the north end. The runway goes that way.
Right.
So you can't see the runway. You just got to know that it's over on the other side of this red barns. You can see it on my GPS here.
So this little thing is where I got to get familiar with.
Well, it's that those red barns. There's 3 red barns with the white roofs. That's the middle of the airport pretty much. Okay. The runway is right over that tree line. So let's just come right over here, just a hair. When you get in the middle of this nursery, you're going to turn another 45 degrees and you'll see the horse track.
Okay.
So there we are.
Over.
So let's go ahead and turn downwind. Do you see the airport yet? There's the tent and the red buildings and the runway ends, the helicopter building. So let's keep coming around. You should be on a heading of 190 when you roll out or thereabouts. Okay. There's your horse track. And look at our altitude. So we're not going to do anything to try and get back up to altitude because you're at 750 feet. So let's go ahead and slow this thing down. And let's go throttle first, back to about, let's do 1600 because we're going to be landing really soon. I'm just putting a little back pressure, just first notch of flaps, grab the carb heat too, and then let's get that nose pointed down now.
All right.
I can tell you're a little bit tired. So there's our descent rate. The Sporty says 500 feet per minute, so let's try that. I think that's a little steep for what we're doing.
Right.
Let's add another notch of flaps. We're in the white arc, and let's turn right base with the nose, a little bit of down pressure. And I can feel that at 500 feet per minute, I just feel like we're never going to make it to the runway. And I don't know how the Sporties, I think they fly a really tighter pattern in the... I'm going to just suggest we do 300 again because I can tell we're going to be way too low at this setting. Let's add a touch of power too because we dropped below 16. Let's stay at 17.
Yep.
And I would just keep the slight downward pitch and add a little more power. And let's go ahead and turn final. Okay. I'm going to clear this. There we go.
You want to tell them what kind of
Let's do a go around because we totally blew that. So let's go add full power. Carb heat off, and watch, this is the elevator trim stall about to happen, so nose down. Now, ready? We got the carb heat off. Let's get rid of one notch of flaps.
Notch of flaps.
And now just leave the flaps alone and just look around here. So we have a safe airspeed.
Yes.
We can have a positive rate of climb. You can get rid of the rest of this. Okay. Plane to bit traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, go around runway 1, airborne. Okay, your plane.
My plane.
So let's get over the runway now because I can see there's nobody on the runway and it's safe to get over top of it. And now let's just begin a climb because there's no sense hanging out here. Yeah, that was going to be a dangerous approach there. So let's go back out, get all set up real nice. That was a good go-around practice. So our VY was what?
Okay.
73, and we're at 100 right now. So we have all this opportunity to grab some altitude here. And 80, you know, going to 80 is fine here because we're going to be at 1,000 feet in no time. And there's no sense in extending this departure leg because that just makes our pattern a lot bigger, and we're not trying to make the pattern bigger. We're trying to practice landing. So I'm just going to stay on it. There's the first silo, the second silo. I'm going to roll out parallel to the 2 silos. I'm going to look back at the runway. There's my 90-degree turn.
Right.
I'm on a nice crosswind with no wind correction because it's calm out here. and we're coming up 900 feet, and we have a safe airspeed, positive rate of climb. How's the ball looking? We need a little right rudder.
Traffic, arrow turning base.
And here we go. We're going to be right over top of the red barns and the middle of the nursery.
Yes.
Here comes 960 for 1,000.
Traffic 92886.
There's the runway.
Yeah.
We just rolled out parallel to the runway.
Yeah.
There is 1,049 feet, nose down, carb heat on, power back to, let's try 16, 17.
Okay.
And friction lock. So everything's set there. Just lift the nose a little bit. About midfield, right downwind for 1. There's the white arc, first notch of flaps. Okay, you're plane.
My plane. I have the plane.
So let's begin a descent at about 300 feet per minute, 300 or 400, not too much more. So this thing will have a little
lag.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the sight picture. Let's just find 300, 400 feet.
Right here.
That's what it should look like to you all the time. And if it looks like that, that's too much. And if it looks like that, that's nothing. So it's just, I think it's right there.
Okay, I have the plane.
After you do this 100 times, so that's too much.
Good.
I'm just, if I cover this stuff up, there you go, that's it right there, I think. You could probably do this without any instruments. We're actually going to practice that. Let's add 1 notch of flaps right now.
One notch of flaps.
Here comes the nose pop. Yep. Well, no, 1 more, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Is that too much? It's too much, yeah.
And this doesn't have a D10, it feels like. So
right.
there's 20.
Okay.
And in that Sporties video, they actually tell you can land with just 20, which is fine.
Uh-huh.
So that looks pretty good to me for 3 to 500. Your nose just came up a little bit. There you go. You can go ahead and turn right. Plane to be traffic, Skyhawk 738 Yankee Tango, right base 1.
Base, runway 30, good in traffic.
Getting a nice terrain warning for the water tower. Your nose just came up. Okay, so I think we're a little bit low because we should be at about 500 feet over Kirby's Mill. So the only thing we can do right now is add power.
Okay.
We can keep the pitch attitude down and just add a little more power and the plane will fly at the same altitude. Look, I'm pushing the nose down to maintain that pitch. And I'm going to put in some right rudder to make this turn work.
Okay.
We have 2 red lights and we're really low, so we're going to add the power and fly into the, and I'm not going to let the nose come up.
Okay.
I'm actually going to trim it down a little. So add some power and watch what happens. We're not going to descend.
Right.
That's the trick here. I don't want the nose popping way up like that, because that's, okay, now you can take the power out because we have the red light, and you can start working it back.
Okay.
And we're a little fast for this amount of flaps now. So we're going to land with 20 degrees. You can take the power all the way out.
Okay, power.
This is going to be a really long landing, I think, because we have no wind. We're going to use the whole runway, and we don't have our flaps in either. So we're in the white arc, so I can still add some flaps here and slow us down. But this is going to be a really long landing. We're definitely doing it. But it was a nice touchdown. Okay, so we're just going to go down here. Nose all the way back and a little bit of brakes. No skidding. We don't want to burn up Frank's wheels because you will never hear the end of that. I'm going to open my window.
Yes.
You have the plane.
I have the plane.
We're going to go do that again, and this time we're going to do it by the book and nice, and we'll get all the flaps in, and we'll have, this plane's really easy to land because it's got the 40 degrees of flaps available.
Okay. Right. So, so before takeoff or just after landing?
After landing checklist.
All right, flaps up.
Yep.
Mixture lean, we're not touching that. Throttle to 1,000. Copy off. Landing lights required. Trim wheels set.
I did adjust the trim wheel, so you can fix that. And
Trim
you're all
wheels
set.
and we're all set. Okay.
I can tell you're a little tired because you're doing stuff that you normally do, like without even thinking about it. I can see you looking around, and it is a different plane, but
so things are look a little different to me,
they might look a little different, but almost everything is in the same place except the radios.
Okay.
Or you know, this little piece right here is a little different. And I think the, I don't know, maybe the glare shield's a different color. It is a little different, and I know that students with low hours get really fixated on how it feels different, it looks different, and that's totally understandable. But believe me, after a while, you get in any Cessna that's ever made, and as long as you know, like, the V speed and the rotation speed and what the stall speed is, you can probably fly it in 5 minutes. That might be a little bit of exaggeration, but they're all pretty much, and the same with the Piper, you know, the configurations are very similar and they fly very similar. That's all right though. You're gonna come out here and you're gonna be tired. A lot of times, I think. It is a really good way to judge how lack of sleep affects your judgment and cognitive skills, though, because I remember going up to my multi-engine training a couple times, and you know, it was like I'd be up at 5:30 in the morning, leave at 6:30, be there at 7:30, and you know, I wasn't well rested, and it was like I was starting over and just flubbing things all over the place. I couldn't remember stuff, and then a day later, you know, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple students that were traveling for work, and you know, a lot, traveling 5 days a week, and you could tell they'd come out here when they'd just been beat to death for a week and staying up late and working on projects, and they'd come out here and they couldn't fly, they couldn't remember stuff, and then, you know, they'd come out here 2 days later after they got some sleep, and you know, they're soloing and everything's going great. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, but it shouldn't be a surprise because it's, you know, pretty well established science how your brain works when you're tired, or doesn't work rather. And so, you know, airline pilots are only allowed to work a certain number of hours, and they are required to be getting rest when they are on rest. I don't know how effective that is in reality when, you know, you send a bunch of people to a hotel in a strange country, whether they actually all go to sleep, but I would hope that that they take advantage of that, because they don't, you know, they're at work basically. Okay, let's just stop right here and not, so as far as runway marking and striping stuff goes, these sets of lines here, you see there's actually 4 sets of lines, even though the paint, and this is pretty typical, a lot of airports, the paint's gonna not be well maintained. So you got 2 solid lines and 2 dotted lines, right?
Right.
So the solid lines mean this is the
Right, you cannot cross.
Well, so that's the movement side where you got the dots. That's the movement side. So if we came out here in complete fog, we'd know we were on the ramp side, going on to the movement side of a taxiway or runway. And so we want to keep the entire airplane on
I'm too close then.
Yeah, but you know, there's nobody here, so we're not going to do a U-turn. But yeah, we don't want any part of our wing over there.
Okay.
And in some places, that would be interfering with the ILS. So we would want to be holding short of the ILS hold short line, which may be really far from the runway in some cases.
Okay.
Okay, back to you. Before takeoff.
Okay. Flaps up. Mixture set to rich. Carb heat off. Lights. Oh, lights off by mistake. Okay, trim set for takeoff. We've adjusted the trim. Fuel valve is on both.
Yep.
Heading indicator recheck.
0180. There you go. Due south.
Yes. Transponder 1200.
Altitude. Yep.
Altitude. Time you have. VR 55, 73, and 59.
I'm just going to do my check. Everything looks good. We're all set. I'm going to close my window and we'll be ready for you to make a radio call.
Flight flying W traffic, Cessna 38 Yankee Tango, departing runway 1, flying W traffic.
Joke. So yeah, this pattern has helicopters on that side and aircraft on this side, and you never know, somebody accidentally comes in here, doesn't know that it's right traffic. For one, you might see an airplane over here once in a while.
Oh.
So as long as you don't see anybody in the pattern,
Right.
and nobody responds, and we know the radio is at least receiving, we haven't gotten a radio check yet. So this says we have a slight tailwind, so we might switch this up. But actually, you know what? Hey, no, we're not going to switch it up now, but you can just take off this direction. It's super light. We'll go out and switch this up and come back in on 19 just so we have a little better situation for your practice.
All right.
So we'll go out this way, we'll go over to the water tower and come back in.
Okay.
We'll just make a radio call that we're switching it up.
In the line, gauges in the green, 40,
yep.
45, 50, 55, and rotating.
Yeah, so you see how far down the runway we are. That might be just like a 3 knot. Just a little to the right. There you go. That might be just maybe a 3 knot tailwind we have there.
Okay.
And this windsock down here is sort of kind of indicating the same.
All right. Right rudder.
Yep. We're going to basically go out over around the water tower and come back in on a 45 so we can land this way. And we'll make a radio call when we get out. This is a really good spot to just, while you have the nose down, just scan the horizon for any aircraft that might be going to South Jersey or coming in this way, because we're about to do it.
All right.
Looks good to me, though.
Good,
So
500 feet.
Yep. Yep, and we're well clear of the power wire, power lines.
Radio traffic, 2 minutes, skydiving, Brookhaven, 2 Canterbury, 2 minutes, use caution.
So there's your 2 silos. The first set of black or dark blue silos and the second. So when you can eyeball those up that we're parallel, just roll out wings level, look back at the runway, that looks good.
Yeah.
And you almost want to immediately turn downwind unless you have some wind, because this is going to be a nice setup. And just a little rudder and you're all set.
Off the left base, runway 22, Solberg. Keys traffic, White Sky, Ford Echo, final, runway 27, cross Keys traffic.
Let's head over to the water tower, because we're going to go out and do a big 180 off of. Let's go about 45 degrees right there. Let's hold that. We're going to go out and do a nice big 180 degree turn after we get out there and come back in on a 45 to land on runway 19.
Copy that.
Final, runway 22, Solberg.
This looks really good.
We going to 1,500 feet?
We can go to 12.
1,200.
Just
copy that.
Experimental 7, Tango Bravo on the right, 316, off the left downwind. Okay, traffic, wait.
Yeah, it's a win. I'm going to do something I've seen people doing a lot in here, which is using the second radio for comm, see if it's any better, because I think the squelch is broken on this.
7, Zulu. Wind calm.
To a left downwind for Sky Acres.
Oh, so that's nice.
This one's no better. We're back on 1. So let's take a little power out. Flying W traffic, 738 Yankee Tango. We're maneuvering over Vincenttown Water Tower, switching the runway to 19er.
We'll depart to the east from the downwind runway 24 late.
Nobody heard me.
No one's out.
I didn't hear that guy. Sorry, where's the water tower? Are we right over it, or? Yeah, it's right there. You can just do a 180 back in toward those nurseries, you'll see them.
To the right?
Yeah, I'm gonna just take a little power out for you. There you go. Yeah, 180 to the right, and it's gonna put you a nice 45. Just a really gentle 10 degree bank turn.
Downwind 17.
And this radio, this always happens on Saturday morning too. It's really crazy. So keep an eye out for the red barns in the middle, so you can see them over there. So let's shallow our turn. I don't know if I remember telling you that there's a housing development.
Yes, you did.
The street points you right in. So let's just go this direction, and then when we turn down the outside street of that housing development, you're on a 45.
Okay.
Red line should be right there. You got it out your window? Red line runway. Look a little further back. Look back, look back.
Oh, behind me.
Right there.
Oh,
you got the runway.
Right. Okay.
Okay, here comes that housing development. Let's make a right turn 90 degrees. There's the last street in the housing development. Points you right at those red barns pretty much. And this is going to set you up on a 45 entry for a left downwind for runway 19 at Flying W. And our altitude has gotten a little bit low, so you can add a little power. And let's get up to 1,000 at least, so we got a fighting chance of making this pattern work. Now I can feel the wind is pushing us that way a little, which is good. We'll have a little bit of a headwind. Flying W traffic, Yankee Tango inbound 45 19er. Okay, there's 1,000. We can just level off here. I would say you see the runway over there, so you can just get yourself set up parallel to the runway. And reduce the power, carb heat on, and let's go ahead and just hold the nose for the airspeed to bleed off into the white arc. This looks really nice. Look at the runway real quick so you don't blow the parallel.
Right.
Yep, you had it going there. A little bit of nose up, and you're going to slow right down. Power back to 16 or 17. There you go. And you're in the white arc. You can add 1 notch. Beautiful. Look over at the runway. And just keep yourself aware of where the runway is and parallel to it. And then this is the let's descend part.
Okay.
We lost about probably 3/4 of a mile of descending here, so that's just going to get added onto our downwind right now, okay?
Okay.
So, remember that sight picture?
Yes.
You're just a little bit too, not enough earth showing, so right about there. I would say that's going to give you about 300 feet per minute.
Okay.
There you go. And let's add another notch of flaps because we're still going to be high. And the nose is going to come up, so you feel that?
Yes, I did.
So let's push that back down and give yourself that sight picture of, there you go, perfect right there. And you'll just get used to what 300 feet per minute looks like, but that looks good to me.
All right.
Once we get out to the soccer field here, you're pretty much at the limit of where we want our pattern to be. So you can go ahead and start a left turn 90 degrees. And watch the ball while you're turning, just nice and easy. Looks good. I always like to not be flying over houses if I can help it, and always have a bailout spot. So not a lot of great bailout spots, but if I had to land this thing, I would definitely have a spot somewhere right in here. Okay, there's the runway. What do you think? We're going to be a tad low. Let's add just a touch of power, but not...
Need that attitude.
Yeah, I would add a little power. So our first obstacle is the power lines. I'm not going to add any flaps till we're clear of that. So now you just have to do whatever you need to do to stay over those power lines. So one thing we can do is just start our turn toward the runway right now. And we're turning a little soon because we're going to try and intercept the final approach course. So right here is going to get you that. That center line is going to come out here, and this is about the shortest path to the center line of the runway. Okay. Just let it roll out a little bit more to the right and look at the far end of the runway, and that'll help you to align yourself. There you go. Now you're kind of aligned. And you're also on the glide path, so you can take a little power out. I'm pushing down a lot to maintain your pitch attitude here. There you go. So you got a red light and a white light. We just crossed the power lines at 350. Okay. We could add one more notch of flaps. We're in the white arc, and that's really going to slow us down. You can add the second one too. Okay. And we got the yellow Piper Cub. So I'm letting you have the control. So
I have the controls.
You're on the glide path. Don't go too low.
Okay.
So the trick would be to add a touch of power right now instead of, there you go, just a little bit. And we want to keep the pitch attitude the same. So not down. Just
here?
Yeah, right there. And our airspeed's bleeding off to around 60.
Yes, it
now
is.
We're just going to very slowly add a little back pressure. And maybe just a touch of power. No, too much. Let me grab this real quick. Yeah, just a touch of power is usually all we need. Maybe 50 RPMs to brake. I'm going to get rid of this. we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
We're already going about 40 knots.
Okay.
So I have the plane.
You have the plane?
Our bailout is going to be to the right.
Okay.
Watch. So there's 60, and we're going to rotate. And I'm going to touch the wheel brakes. Flaps are up, carb heat's off, full power. And look, if you just give a little bit of turn out to the right, it gives you a clearance of those trees. We're only at, it says we're at 200 feet. We're really at 150 feet if we're lucky. Okay, and then we can just go back on track. I'm going to give you the plane positive rate of climb, safe airspeed, flaps are up, carb heat is off, mixture's full rich. You grab the throttle and it's your plane.
Throttle? I have the plane.
Plane to beat traffic, Yankee Tango is touch and go, airborne, runway 19. You can climb out the 600 feet.
Echo left downwind, runway 27, cross keys traffic.
Okay, so you can go ahead and turn, left crosswind here, and we'll just get established in the pattern again. Keep the climb going. You hear that engine speed picking up? That's because we let the nose down a little, so let's just climb out at 73 to 80. And look over, there's your nurseries with your downwind leg, so let's go ahead and continue the turn.
Flying W traffic, Sky 49 Yankee departing 19er to south, flying W.
So did you hear what he said? Let's go keep our turn going because we want to go right into the downwind leg. Yankee Tango is left downwind 19 flying W. Okay, so he said he's departing 19 to the south, so he's leaving the pattern.
Right.
But we did see the yellow Piper Cub coming out, so he's probably going to do a run up and take off. He's probably going to be doing some work over here at Allen Field, which is
where we saw him the last time, right?
Well, no, I don't think that's where we saw him last time. Allen Field is right over here somewhere, and I don't see it yet, but it's
2 miles to the north.
really close by. It's almost underneath. I think it's right there. See that white hangar over there?
Yes.
So they're going to be landing on that runway. They'll be very careful of our pattern. That guy's an airline pilot. Okay, so where are we? 1,100 feet. We're behind the 8 ball a little bit, so let's get the power back really quick. Let's turn a little bit out so we're parallel. There you go. I'm just going to put a little back pressure. Let's go straight back to 17. Let's go nose up just a hair. Carb heat on.
Carb heat on.
Ready. White arc coming up. There's white arc. First notch of flaps and nose down. 300, 400 feet. We lost again. Now we're about 3/4 of a mile behind the 8 ball. Let's just come out a little bit this way to stay parallel. There you go. And let's put the nose right there. That's about 400 feet per minute. And the last time we were a little low, so let's go ahead and turn now. Let's put in a little pressure to start your turn. Watch your ball. There you go. You have the plane.
I have the plane.
As soon as we complete this turn, we want to add one more notch flap. Let's keep this turn coming though. I can't tell, but I think you need a little right rudder, just a touch there, and that'll give you a little more aileron. We're way outside of the South Jersey.
Yes.
There you go. Our power dropped off to about 15.5, so let's just add a little power, because I don't want to be low. One notch of flaps, yep. There you go, this looks good. And the nose came up. There you go.
6 miles out to the west.
So you kind of have to judge now. We want to cross those power lines at about 400 feet, so maybe a touch of power here. And I'm just putting a little pressure on to keep your nose pointed a little bit down. This looks good though. I see one white and one red light, so we did it.
Okay.
Now let's not go two red lights, so just a touch of power and hold the pitch attitude.
Yeah,
there you go.
Uh-huh.
That's a trick.
Yes.
So we're still in the white arc. As soon as we cross these power lines, I'm still holding a little down pressure. As soon as you cross the power lines, let's add another notch of flaps and get rid of a little bit of the power because we're just coming. So look, the nose is coming up because of the flaps.
Right.
So
the Cub, he sees going on.
Yeah. Flying W traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, go around runway 1. 19er, go around 19er, flying W. Man, I don't think he's hearing. I don't think he's got his radio on, or because we made a couple radio calls. Do me a favor.
Yes.
This is actually kind of critical now. Tell me where he is, because
he is starting to take off.
Okay. All right. So I don't know
the landing roll. Now
Can you see him?
He's in the air.
Okay, so we're gonna do a turnout here. I don't know if he doesn't. He's keeping an eye on him.
Yep. He's going straight out.
So now this is interesting. Like, could our radio's receiving?
Right.
So we're just gonna go straight out and let him turn. Maybe his radio's off. Maybe he didn't hear us on downwind. I don't know how he didn't see us though.
Right.
But this could happen though. We just had a real life
situation.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. You can stay on the controls. Yeah. I'm gonna stay on this. I need you to tell me where he is though.
Cannot see him.
Yeah. So here's the other problem. I got no transponder signal from him. So his electric could be off, or he doesn't have any electric.
Yeah. I cannot see him.
Okay. So we're just gonna keep going out until we think we're clear.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a runway incursion.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter who caused it.
Traffic is turning left base 433. Okay, on traffic on both.
So I need to find him before we turn. And I still don't see him. He could be under us right now, and I have no transponder signal. So do me a favor. Can you take the plane and fly straight up?
Sure.
Yeah, because I still don't see him. So I'm going to be turning all the way around, so just keep an eye on your airspeed. I got nothing.
Enter into upwind, runway 12, good in airport.
Jesus. I'm going to lift the wing. I'm going to give a little roll to the right so I can see under the wing. I still don't see him. So the safest thing for us is to just fly straight out and just continue to look for him. I'm sure he must have seen us by the time.
I don't know, because he still took off.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he has no electric, or, I mean, a lot of those Cubs don't have electric, but they usually have a radio, so I still don't see him. And I don't hear him making radio calls on 1228, and we're definitely on 1228.
Right.
So I'm going to try and assure myself he's not under us or behind us. And I'm going to make a right turn. I'm going to actually look one more time because I'm going to rock my wing, so if he's behind me, maybe he sees me.
Okay, copy that.
And then we're just going to turn. Yeah, so he has no transponder on. So just be aware, that's a classic example of a plane that might not have an let's lift our wing and make sure he's not flying into us here. I don't see him anywhere. And now we're going to continue our turn, and we'll look for him out here. Interesting. Okay, so now we're at 1,500 feet. Now I would expect he's going to be down low in front of us somewhere. But let's pull our power back a little bit. So I'm going to give you the plane. We're going to go kind of enter on a downwind here, but let's find him because chances are he's either stayed in the pattern or gone out this way, or he's over going to Allen Field. And I don't see him anywhere, and I got no transponder signal. But that was a strange one. I didn't hear any radio calls from him. Did you?
None whatsoever.
We're definitely on the right frequency.
Yes, 122.8.
So he might not have a radio. It's entirely possible. That might not be the guy I was thinking it was. That's classic. So we can write down runway incursion and runway incursion avoidance on your thing. We did a nice couple. We did 2 go-arounds. Okay, so I'm looking really hard. Let's slow the plane down. Flying W traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, left downwind, runway 19, flying W. Okay, so Allen Field's right over there. I thought maybe we'd see him over there.
Right.
Flight check-in.
2. 3.
Wow.
182 downwind, 33.
Well,
he's not around here.
Well, I would not assume that for a second, because remember what happened the other day? That we thought that guy was...
Oh, right.
And
no, in terms of visually seeing.
Yeah, well, you found that guy the other day a couple times, so let's... Allen Field was down in here somewhere, I told you. Man, that was,
366 at base to final.
I don't see anyone in the pattern.
Me either.
We definitely have,
And the first 182 is Koski's traffic.
we're receiving signals, so that's all good. Allen Field is right there, and I don't see him in the pattern for Allen Field. But if he was landing there, he might be landing that way. Well, my friend, let's go ahead and get set up to land. Power back to...
182 for the LIE, 1,900 feet, left turn for southbound.
Officer from traffic, Tabria, flight of 3, departing runway 26 to the...
White Sky 4 Echo left base, runway 27.
I'm going to let you do this.
And forget traffic,
RP.
182 base, final, 32, forget it.
Heat.
We're a little high to be turning yet, so let's just hold this off a little. Look back at the runway and determine if you're parallel or not.
Pretty.
I think you're turning into the runway right now, yeah, pretty significantly. There you go.
Yes, I am.
So, I'm still keeping an eye out for that guy.
Yes, me too.
Aircraft overflying Newmarket, our skydiving operation.
You can probably start your turn now and we'll work the rest of this out. Just watch your power setting. We're a little bit low at 15 for where we are. Yeah, I'm going to take a wild guess that there was either no radio or it was on the wrong frequency or who knows what else. I'm watching over at South Jersey because there is a plane landing there and I don't think that's him. Okay, our arrival, gas, undercarriage, down and lock, mixture, prop, switches, seatbelts, we're all set.
South Jersey traffic, Tabria flight of 3, right crosswind 26, departing pattern to the north.
So there's 3 Citabrias leaving over there, that's no issue. So you're all set here, man. That is a white light and a red light, so let's see if you can make this down to the runway. You're really nice here. You're established at 500 feet. The power's set. The flaps are the only issue, so anticipate the nose up. There you go. Use your rudders and your aileron. So it's going to be a little bit of right rudder, left aileron. You're going to clear the power lines by, I don't know, 50. There's 350, so you're all set. You're clear of the wires. You're still on the glide path. Just try not to go through the bottom of this. So you're going to get a white light right now. Nose down, nose down. There you go. Sorry to be pointing, but
it's okay.
Just to, yeah, there you go. You're right on it. Nope, that power reduction's going to drop you through the bottom. There you go. You're working it. I'm just going to try and not touch anything. Little right aileron to get over the center, and now, yeah, there you go. You're working it. And I'm watching your airspeed. You're still good. No. So I'm just going to jump on here with you to make sure you don't do that again. That was the opposite when you
push the power in.
Yeah. Well, you push the nose down. We're just going to land here. A little power, just to, and that's no, just a touch. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the flaps and take the plane.
You have the plane?
And here we go. Ready. Call out the airspeed.
55.
Flaps up, carb heat off,
and rotate.
I feel like our nose is trim. Yeah, we have a little bit of nose up trim there. Nose down trim, sorry. Okay, so positive rate, safe airspeed of 73, your plane, and we're clear of the trees. A little bit to the right. Yeah, that, watch, our nose is just a little high. This is where I like to put the nose down, because that guy, who knows, he could be coming back in here. That was really strange. There are a couple old planes here, so that might not have been a Piper Cub. It could have been a Clipper, or there's a couple other fabric planes. But a lot of those planes only have like a, I don't know, an 80 horsepower engine in them.
Right.
And they're really light, and so the weight of a battery is more than they can, it's a fabric aircraft, so there might not even be a place to have a battery in that plane.
Wow.
And there's probably, watch your nose up attitude here, just there you go. And they're experimental, or they're older, and they have no electrical system sometimes. It's just a couple instruments, an airspeed indicator, an altimeter, and a fuel gauge. And they're all legal. and they're grandfathered, and it appears that he may have no transponder, so that's also grandfathered in, at least for the time being. Seems like he could have a battery-operated transponder, but I guess it's hard to certify, so we're not quite parallel, so just work that out. So now, we know that guy's out here, and he's probably going to come back, right?
Probably,
so, yeah, well, he has to, sooner or later. So we want to make sure that when he comes back, we see him. I'm going to find Allen Field. Sometimes they have like a pancake breakfast over there, and that's what these guys are doing. But I don't see anyone there this morning yet. All right, so what are we doing here? Carb heat on, power reduction. We're midfield. Flying W traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, left downwind, 19. Yeah, I don't see his plane parked.
You got a caravan overhead.
That's not your flaps.
Showing a left downwind for runway 27 across keys. You got parachute jumping in progress. East Coast across keys airport.
So you got 1 notch flaps. And so watch what we can do here instead of. Yep. So I'm just gonna. We're in the white arc. Watch what we can do here. We can put 1, 2, 3. We could put all the flaps in right now. And say we have to land. We don't want to do a 3-4 mile pattern. Okay. We're just gonna watch the nose down. We're not gonna pick up a lot of airspeed because we got this gigantic flap setting. We can actually push the nose down. Flying W traffic, Yankee Tango is left base for 19. So look at our airspeed. We're just barely getting. Let me just take a little power out. We can just trim the nose down a hair. So you can use this plane to get to the runway.
From here, gliding?
Yeah. Yankee Tango is based final 19. Flying W. Yeah, we don't have to do like a 3 mile final. I'm going to get you on this short final here and then give you the plane back. So here comes 1,500 RPMs. And here comes the runway. I'm going to give you the plane back. Your airspeed's 61 knots and you're about a 1 mile, half a mile final here. Nice.
Flying W traffic, Sky High 480, 5 miles to the southeast, entering left downwind 19 or flying W.
Hold that right there. This is beautiful. There goes the red light. Beautiful.
Cross-keys traffic, Cherokee 1583, X-ray 5 miles south.
Keep an eye on your airspeed. This looks good. Get yourself down to the runway. So we're getting a little slow, so this is fine. You don't have to add any power, but just be aware we're starting to get to 55. Here we come. We're going to land on that stripe. So just a nose up. Okay, flaps up. Carb heat off. And there's 60, right?
Yes, 60.
And we're going to rotate. We have a wind blowing this way. That's good for us. Flaps up, carb heat off, mixture's full rich. Trim wheel I can't see, but I think we need a little trim up. And I'm going to look. I'm clear of all the trees. Positive rate, safe airspeed of 75. There's your plane.
I have the plane.
All right, so
what am I doing wrong in terms of the landing?
You're really tired, man. I'm just telling you, when you watch this video, watch what you were doing the other day and watch what you're doing now. You're like 1 mile behind every single time we go down here. So I'm just gonna help you to
stay on course.
Yeah, although I'm just listening real quick because we do have a guy entering the pattern here.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing you're doing wrong is if you were really up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but before we turn, there we go. So you got that guy?
Yes.
Let's just stay on this heading for a minute, and then we'll turn behind him, give him that. Yeah. You're just tired, and it's really obvious to me, like, since we got in the plane, you've just been a little bit behind the 8 balls. You can go ahead and turn now. And we'll just stay behind him. He's going to be really far ahead of you. Let's make sure that he's the only one we have to worry about. There is another. No, that's the only one. So you can just
traffic, Skyhawk 49er Yankee established, left downwind.
keep going. Go ahead. Just keep the turn coming. Flying W traffic, 738 Yankee Tango is turning left downwind and got the number 1 traffic in sight.
Traffic cap 2912 over.
Okay, so there's 1,049 feet. Let's put the power to about 18 until we get midfield. I'm just going to get you parallel. He's about a mile in front of you, and we're going to give him another half a mile or another mile by the time we do anything. So you can put your carb heat on right now.
Carb heat on.
I'm going to trim the nose down just a hair. We want to be behind him, so when, look, he just had to he had to correct his altitude. Let's go ahead and put one notch of flaps. That'll slow us down to give him even more room. And get yourself parallel, and let's go 1,800 RPMs. This is the dangerous part now, because I just looked away and I lost him.
He's right there.
I got him. Okay, so he's pretty low.
He really is.
Yeah, so let's just turn a little bit this way. There you go.
Line W traffic, Skyhawk 49
Yes.
left base 19.
Right there, looks good to me. So you can start your descent at 200 feet per minute, and we'll just follow him in. And power at 17, because we're probably going to fly out to the soccer field or close to it.
Okay.
As soon as he turns inbound, we're going to turn base. So let's not turn yet. I'm just putting a little bit of right pressure. There you go. That looks really nice right there.
Final 19er, flying W.
I'm not even going to tell him we're turning base, because that just gives him something to worry about that he doesn't need to worry about. Let's go ahead and turn left base for 19. And I'm looking out here for traffic on final. I'm looking for the guy in the Piper Cub or whatever that was. Now we're pretty close in, so let's, not yet. As soon as we roll level, there you go. So he's on the ground now. You can add the flaps. Let's add 2 notches of flaps gently and push the nose down.
Okay.
Let's bring our power back to 16. Actually, make it 15, because we're going to be a little high. We'll do a forward slip this time, so we can't forward slip with full flaps in this plane, so let's just turn final. You can go ahead and turn. I'm off the control. So we're going to be a little high. Flying to be traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, 1 mile, final 19. Okay, so just
overshot it.
Clear 19er, flying W.
There you go. We overshot that a little bit, but that's okay. We're gonna put plenty of altitude here. So the wind is, I think it's right down the runway. So let's put our right aileron down and a little left rudder, and we'll forward slip this just really easy, because we don't need to lose a lot. And I'm staying on this with you because I'm kind of pointing at the 19 right now, and we're gonna let all this out at once. So right now we're descending at 800 feet per minute. There's the red light. We're going to let it all out, and now we're just going to resume normal landing. We'll put in the rest of the flaps in the white arc, work the power back. And if I say add some power, just add 50 RPMs, but I don't think we're going to need it. So we're just flying right over the runway now. We're going to hold it.
There you go.
Flaps up, carb heat off. We're going to do one more of these.
Yes.
I think you have this till 9:30 or so, right?
10.
10, okay, so.
Speed at 60.
Okay, flaps are up, carb heat's off. That's a little bit early, but we're still 60, 70 knots there. And we'll just use our bailout. 15 degrees to the right here, stay away from the trees. Positive rate, safe airspeed, flaps up, carb heat off, your plane. I think the trim wheel is set a little high, so can you look at it and reset it right now?
Yeah.
It's got to go the other way, though, I think. Oh, no. Okay,
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, just reset it for takeoff. It felt like a little bit of pressure, a back pressure, so.
Yeah.
Let's look down real quick. Everything looks good, and then right back to our climb.
Okay.
Just in case somebody's barreling in here.
Right.
Which, it happens about 1 every 200 times. You'll look up and be really surprised that there's another guy with no radio.
Super traffic, guys. Stock, good left down for 22s, over.
I want to try and get a radio call, but it's almost impossible here.
We're giving traffic 2 minutes skydiving, Brookhaven, 2 canopy, 2 minutes, 2 stops, 2 not fly, Brookhaven. Traffic, 20 on short final, 4 miles.
Just watch your fall and your airspeed. There you go. Flying to be traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, left downwind 19.
Traffic,
A lot of people on the radio, so we have to be very judicious with our radio calls, because everybody's just stepping all over each other, and it's almost counterproductive sometimes. So now we have to be triple vigilant with looking outside. And
H2 Tango's midfield, left downwind for runway 12. You got the traffic on short final in sight. Good in traffic.
still don't see anybody over there at Allen Field that looks like that. So this is a good place to start slowing down to about 1,700 RPMs. Get nice and parallel to the runway. Get your carb heat on.
Heat is on.
And you can just keep you're in the white arc, so you can add a notch of flaps, and now we're set. Good. I feel like we're heading in about 5 degrees.
Yep.
And when you do that, it makes your base short, and that's why we overshoot every time. So just come out this way just a hair. It'll save you a lot of headache. There you go. That's plenty. That's plenty. There you go. Okay. I like this a little better.
Get the traffic. H23 Tango is about to turn left.
Keep the nose pointed right about there. Just look at your... There you go. We're just a little light on power, so make it 17. And the nose came up when you added the power. That's it right there. And you can add another notch of flaps, and then we'll start a turn. We're in the white arc. The next time we come out here and you're wide awake, so nose came up with the flap, so just hold that there, and it'll
Sundowner 90208 Sierra, taxiing to runway 19, flying W.
Flying W traffic 738 Yankee Tango is turning left base 19. Okay, you can go ahead and turn. We're pretty far out. Next time we come out, I'm going to do covering some instruments, and you'll find out really quickly that you're going to stop ever looking over here, and you'll have like a really good visual reference out the window about what the descent profile looks like out the glare shield. Right. Your nose just came up. There you go.
Did he take off?
No, I think he's just coming out of the hangar somewhere, so you can. Our nose came up and we're descending at 0. There you go. So that's it right there.
We're at 650.
Yeah.
So we're pretty clear of this.
This is okay though. You can head in to the, because we're pretty far out,
yes.
You can head in and intercept the final course if you want. I would add another notch of flaps because you're going to clear the power lines, no problem. Flying W, Yankee Tango, short final 19. Okay, so that was the briefest radio call we could make. So right now you're going to land into the hangar, so fix that.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Now you're going to land on the VASI light, so.
Okay.
There you go. Now you're more lined up with the runway. So I think you need a little bit of right aileron. Actually, this looks pretty good. So just push the nose down so you're kind of pointed at the second stripe after the 19. There you go. You got full flaps now. Gear is down. Locked mixture, full rich. This looks good. Just work it down nice and easy, and be prepared to add a little bit of power right now, just a touch. There you go, just a touch. That's going to break the descent rate. Keep the nose down though, because we got to keep landing. We're just going to go. Now you can work the power all the way out, and we're just going to hold the nose up because we're in the runway environment, and we're only a foot away. You want to put this away?
That's fine. We can do one more.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to do it after we can go do one more. I just didn't want to do a I didn't want to start a go around when we had the power out. We'll taxi back. You can take a 2-minute break and. So there is a little bit of finesse on the way down. So it's just absolutely dead calm here right now today. There's no crosswinds.
So what is that? How does that affect?
It doesn't. You should just, when we get at 500 feet, you should just be like, I'm pointing that thing at the second stripe after the 19. I got my power set, my flaps are in, my pitch is set, and I'm just going to ride this thing. And so at that point, anything happens, you're just going to add just like this much power back and forth. You were like, you're adding like full power almost.
Heavy, yeah.
And that's just like an overreaction.
So let me hear it again.
So just look, it's 50 RPMs. 50 to 100 RPMs will break your, if you're coming down too fast, you just
to the north.
don't change your pitch attitude. Just hold the pitch there and just add a little bit of power. And instead of coming down like this, the plane's going to start moving forward a little bit more. So
I put too much in and we started flying.
Yeah, well, and also then the nose pops up because you've added you got full flaps. The plane wants to pitch up.
Okay.
I'm going to, actually, you can just rest for a minute. I'll taxi you back up here. Let's do an after landing checklist because I didn't do that. I got everything turned off.
All right, after landing, flaps up, mixture full, well, mixture lean it says. Throttle.
Okay, we're good.
Yep. Total 1,000 RPM. There we go. Carb heat off.
Carb heat's off.
Landing lights as required. Yep. Trim wheel set to.
I didn't check that, so just double check that.
It.
So I don't know if you heard him. Did you hear what his call was?
No.
He said he's going to depart 19 and he's going north. So he's going to come out and be going back that way.
Okay.
So we'll expect that. He's not, you know, if he was going south, he would just disappear into the horizon, but he's going to be turning that way.
And keep going.
Yeah, so when we go out, we want to be cognizant that he's turning 180 degrees and he'll probably be in the pattern in front of us. I'm going to give you the plane back.
Okay.
You had a little rest there.
I have the plane.
Yeah, when we come back in here, I might just stay on the controls with you and show you that, you know, this is, once we get to 500 feet, we want to try and have a really nice stabilized approach down to the runway. Nothing erratic. No.
Okay.
When it gets windy, you know, hang on, we're going to do before takeoff checklist before we cross this line, right?
Okay.
So we're a little bit over the line, but there's nobody here and there's no IFR traffic, so.
Flaps as required. 0.
Yep.
Mixture set to rich.
Yep.
The rich carb heat is off. Lights, navs, good. Trim set for takeoff. Fuel valve on both. Heading indicator recheck.
050.
050.
You're pretty close there.
050. Transponder 1200. Altitude time. We had the time 55 and 73.
And I'm just checking the fuel because we've been out for an hour. We want to make sure we didn't have like a fuel cap off and drain the tanks. Everything looks good to me?
Yes.
You can make a radio call that, so say 738, not 738, because just get in the habit when you're talking to air traffic control, they're going to want to hear the number. So just, you can just say, or just say Skyhawk departing 19er.
Okay. Flight W traffic, Skyhawk departing runway 19er, flight W traffic.
There is our buddy right there.
Yeah.
And guess what? So let's stop for a minute.
Yep,
so.
Yep.
You just said Skyhawk departing 19er, and he has not changed his
course.
Yeah, so he might be leaving. He has no transponder though.
Right.
Which leads me to believe. Okay, he is going over to Allen Field, so let's go ahead and take off.
Okay.
I was going to call this guy who's in the pattern, but he's well above where he's going to be influenced by that.
Yeah, he's right there.
And that guy is circling over.
Traffic, Lake Sky, forward echo, left downwind, runway 27.
All right, let's get out of here.
Oh, dear.
Oh, wow. Make sure there's no stragglers.
Yep. Look at that.
Oh, man. Good call, man. That guy would be, so that's the baby. Do we,
There another one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always 12. I would say we can go, and we'll just, you know, be ready to pull the power out. Ready?
All right. Airspeed is alive.
Yeah, I'm thinking that guy has no radio, which kind of interesting. You think he'd be more vigilant with no radio.
Gauge is in the
So
crane.
everything looks clear of the deer.
Yep. 50, 55, and rotate.
So luckily they had a small family.
Thankfully.
Right, just a little bit. That looks good. A little bit to the right.
Yeah.
Watch those trees and you're all set. So positive rate, safe airspeed of 71.
Yeah, get over to the right.
Try and get to 73. There you go. You're good. You can stay on this line. We're well clear of the trees. That's like when we're doing a touch and go. Sometimes I use that bailout because I know I can get to that farm field if I have to.
Okay.
I'm usually pretty confident I can get right over top of this tree line into that plowed field if there was an emergency.
Turning crosswind, runway 26, landing runway 24, Lakewood.
There you go. So I don't see anyone out here.
Oh,
We do know there's that yellow experimental or whatever it is out there, so we'll try and make sure he doesn't.
Forward Echo final, runway 27, cross
And we're also pretty sure he probably doesn't have a radio.
yes.
So, and he definitely doesn't have a transponder. Let's roll out here and let's just see. Yeah, let's be 90 degrees. Now you can go ahead and turn downwind. I'm just looking for him and I can't see under your wing. So our descent has sort of stopped. We're at
Descent?
No. It stopped. Yeah, we started to. There he is now. See him?
Yeah.
He's on.
He's on base turn.
I'm just gonna make a. Forget. Flying W traffic 738 Yankee Tango is left downwind 19. Yeah, he has no radio.
Traffic, arrow midfield downwind, runway 24 landing.
Okay, so there's 1,000 feet and power back, carb heat on.
Heat on.
We already made a radio call, so it's first notch of flaps.
Tango is clear the pound departing to the south, go to traffic.
Yeah, so
The wind is coming out of
interesting.
He landed.
Yeah, he landed, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not the person I thought it was, and there might be two of those planes that look almost identical. We got one notch of flaps.
Yes.
This looks better. Let's just, there you go, that's it right there, perfect. So your descent rate is slowing. Let's add another notch of flaps here. And just hold that nose right about there, that looks pretty good. And the horizon's not crystal clear today, so that may be impacting you a little bit.
Clear for 19, flying W.
So there is a radio call from that guy.
Wow. Finally.
Wonder if his transponder.
He probably realized maybe and turned it on.
You can go ahead and turn. I think we're going to be. Don't let that nose drop that much though in the turn, because look, you're at almost 700 feet there for a second. So that's too high. Right about there seems right. Okay. You just did a tad. There you go. Right about there. And we're at 600 feet, so I wouldn't add the rest of the flaps yet, but let's get 90 degrees to the runway. He's flying to V traffic, 738 Yankee Tango, left base to final 19. Okay, so we overshot this a couple times, so we're not going to turn yet. Let's add another notch of flaps before we turn, and then that'll be the end of it. And then let's go ahead and turn. Okay. Gentle turn, but not overshooting. So that nose is trimmed up for some reason. There you go. Okay. I said I was going to stay on this with you. So we're just a little bit high. We're probably 50 feet high right now.
Right.
We're at 350. So let's not do anything crazy because we're going to shut this thing down anyway. So let's just hold the pitch right there. I'm going to try and land on the second stripe. That's my aiming point. We have 1,600 RPMs. That's perfect. The carb heat's on.
Yes, it is.
So I'm keeping an eye on that guy because he's in a tail dragger. We're just a little high. I'm not going to touch the power yet. Let's put in the last bit of flaps. There's the glide path.
Right.
I'm still thinking I'm going to land on the second stripe. That's my aiming. You can start working the power back really slowly. Don't take it all the way out. Leave 50 RPMs to 100 RPMs in. And I'm still aiming for that second stripe. And when I get there, I'm going to lift the nose just a little bit. And that wasn't too bad. We landed a little bit flat, but that was probably my fault because you weren't really on the controls. So, yeah, so we just came down. There was no back and forth, up and down on the elevator. And
you just kept it steady.
That's the trick. I'm not going to touch these flaps till we get off because typically in your check ride, they don't want you touching anything. They just want you getting the plane off the runway. So we're going to come all the way. I'm going to give you the plane and let you do this. Open the window. Yes, I think you're a little bit tired, and because you were doing a lot of stuff like really, really effectively. Not just the last time we flew, but the last 3 or 4 times we flew, you were like on top of everything every second. There was no lag in your reaction, and it's really clear today that
there's a difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference, and almost every time on the downwind, we were about 3/4 of a mile behind the 8-ball.
And what I was doing, and let me just clean this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Throttle 1000, copied off, landing lights required, trim wheels set to takeoff. Okay, that's after landing. So,
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's actually a good lesson to, because I've had this happen to me a couple times when you get home and you're like, man, I just spent like $500 and probably went backwards 3 steps today. And it's also kind of a deflating experience, because you were telling me the other day, you were like, oh, I just want to, reinforce these habits.
But I know that the landing, is one of the things that...
well, the landing is... Go ahead and finish what you're...
well, the landing is one of the things that I really want to feel comfortable with.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry about that, because it's the hardest thing in your private pilot is the landing part, which is why the solo is the milestone, because you got to land this thing perfectly, 30 times before that's even a possibility.
Okay.
And we're not even to the point where we've done it once.
Okay.
So it's not, I'm just going to, I think we got this out of the middle spot here, right? We're just going to stay right here. Hang on. Just a little right rudder. I'm just going to push this thing up. We're going to use a little bit of right rudder to stay here, and we're not going to turn until I think the tail's lined up. So now I'm going to try and line up with his tail rope. That was a little bit too far, probably. Okay. There's no plane here, so I can go a little closer, so that looks pretty good to me.
Yes.
I'm going to bring the power back to 1,000.
Okay. All right, shut down, avionics off.